Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Kyle Orvis, your favorite tinfoil realist, not theorist. We got a good one today. So I read the news every day, all day. I'm always scouring through headlines, just trying to figure out what these motherfuckers got planned for us. The next Plan-demic are these goddamn cyber attacks. So this is something I want to get into. I need you to like the video so that more people than just you and I watch it. Feel free to comment. Show me some conspiracies. Like I said, I'm going through my schedule. So Monday is going to be crypto update. Tuesday, psychedelics, spirituality. Wednesdays is conspiracies. Thursdays, economics, stocks, and crypto again. Friday is football and sports. Saturdays, setting up the interviews. Setting up the episodes, doing some trading. But today's episode is on these cyber attacks. So let's start with, where are we at here? Oh, I got a Discord. I'm going to make sure that link is in the description. Join it. You know what? I better do that right now. Let's do that right now. Let's make sure that we can get you guys into my Discord. Let's see here. It's TinFoilRealist. Gonna set it up to organize it as my schedule is organized. But I want the whole community to be. Let's enlighten each other. We'll get back to the Discord. All right, what do we want to get into here? We are going to start. Let's go back. Make sure got our camera set up right. Go back to 2017. So in 2017, Fauci said Trump will no doubt face a surprise infectious disease outbreak. Stated a report. America's top infectious disease specialist, Time Magazine's Man of the Year, Dr. Anthony Fauci has been correct to assume in 2017 that former President Donald Trump would face a surprise outbreak anytime during his 4 years in office. True enough, the COVID-19 pandemic exploded in the early months of 2020, during which Trump was gearing up for re-election. You can take away a lot from that paragraph alone. Before Trump's even president, he said that Trump would face a surprise outbreak. That happened. Sure enough, it's an election year. The mail-in ballots, the fucking voting fraud, how Trump's stance against China, and the way the Biden administration sucks up to China. When you think of this whole COVID situation coming out of China and the way the World Health Organization has dealt with all this, the shit show. Planned shit show. But how did Dr. Fauci correctly and confidently say that the surprise infectious disease outbreak would come to pass under the Trump administration? According to a report from Helio, a health journal, on January 11, 2017, Fauci gave a speech at the Georgetown University Medical Center. The speech, per the Huffington Post, titled Pandemic Preparedness in the Next Administration. The speech was delivered just days before the January 20th inauguration of then-President Donald Trump. During the speech, the country's top infectious disease expert curiously warned there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the area of infectious diseases. Let me read that quote again. This is from Fauci's words. There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the area of infectious diseases. Insane. There is no question. When has an administration, it's not like this happens every administration. So the guy that happened to be working on the fucking coronavirus sent it over to China and paid China to work on the coronavirus. Happened to say Donald Trump's going to face a pandemic. And then it happened on the election year. And then you see all these laws change for the election. We know the whole fucking voter fraud shit. This is a Plan-demic. Trump administration will not only be challenged by ongoing global health threats such as influenza and HIV, but also a surprise disease outbreak. The thing we're extraordinarily confident about is that we're going to see this in the next few years. It's so fucked. So fucked. So then, let's go back a little bit. Let's go to Event 201. So Event 201 was a 3.5-hour pandemic tabletop exercise that simulated a series of dramatic, scenario-based facilitated discussions confronting difficult, true-to-life dilemmas associated with the response to a hypothetical but scientifically plausible pandemic. 15 global businesses, government, and public health leaders were players in the simulation exercise that highlighted unresolved real-world policy and economic issues that could be solved with sufficient political will, financial investment, and attention now in the future. Go to the purpose. In recent years, the world has been seeing a growing number of epidemic events, amounting to approximately 200 events annually. These events are increasing and they are disruptive to health, economies, and society. Managing these events already strains global capacity, even absent a pandemic threat. Experts agree that it is only a matter of time before one of these epidemics becomes global. A pandemic with potentially catastrophic consequences. A severe pandemic, which becomes Event 201, would require reliable cooperation among several industries, national governments, and key international institutions. So Fauci said that Trump's going to face a pandemic, a surprise outbreak of an infectious disease. Governments and corporations had already sat down in a room and planned the whole response. And then we're just supposed to believe that this is all planned out. But the virus happened to mutate from a bat naturally. Some guy just ate at a wet market. I don't know how to get through that anymore. I really don't. That alone, like just those fucking 2 articles and then just looking back at what we went through, what we're going through. How can you... The fact that the media... I got banned off fucking Facebook for saying this virus fucking came from a lab, for sure. That's how I got banned. And now they're saying that that's more than likely the probable cause. Was them playing with the disease in a lab. Doing gain-of-function research. It's disgusting. We know how gross Big Pharma is. Like, aggravates me. Anyways, so let's get in to the next pandemic, which, if you haven't noticed, has already kind of started to start.
World Economic Forum recently published the COVID-19 risks outlook. The third greatest concern for companies surveyed is the increase of cyber attacks. We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison.
How about that? You just said COVID-19 will look like a small disturbance in comparison to what is coming. These cyber attacks.
To a major cyber attack. We have to ask ourselves in such a situation, how could we let this happen? Despite the fact we had all the information about the possibility.
This guy's straight out of a fucking movie. This is the bad guy out of every movie. So let's go over here. We got the Colonial pipeline that happened. We seen that hack. Gas prices went fucking crazy. There was hoarding and all that shit. Look at what that one little hack kind of caused in that area. So, and then there's the Bitcoin aspect to this. Now, I don't get how a sophisticated hacker who understands the internet, understands technology enough to be a hacker, would then take Bitcoin payments knowing it's fully traceable. I get notifications all the time about if coins move from the Mt. Gox, from the Mt. Gox hack, like all these big different hacks that have happened. Those coins are all red flagged, and like people get notifications if those coins have moved. So I can't imagine a sophisticated hacker, sophisticated enough to hack a fucking pipeline, would then just accept Bitcoin as payment, knowing it's fully traceable. Knowing there's other shit like Monero and these privacy coins that couldn't be tracked. I'm not a fucking cyber hacker, and I know this stuff about the blockchain technology. So then you have the more recent one, which is the meat hack. I don't know what facility it was. JBS, the meat packaging facility, was hacked. This was what, last week? By now you've probably heard of the cyber attack involving JBS, one of the country's largest meat producers. But what is JBS and what happened and where exactly is the beef? Here's what we know. JBS USA.
Another U.S. company victimized by a...
JBS USA is part of JBS Foods, which is one of the world's largest food companies. It's operations in 15 countries and customers in about 100, or 15, yeah. It has operations in 15 countries and has customers in about 100 countries, according to the website. What happened? Hackers attacked the company's IT system last weekend, prompting shutdowns at company plants in North America and Australia. The hack, which White House described Tuesday as ransomware, affected all of JBS's U.S. meat packaging facilities. Okay. So, let's just go back to what does the Biden administration like really not like? Climate change and climate change. Gas and red meat. Fucking oil and cows are supposed to be destroying the globe. And Bitcoin too, actually. Bitcoin miners are also boiling the oceans. Klaus Schwab is saying that like the next one's gonna be fucking terrible. It's gonna be a cyber attack pandemic. The hacks have just so happened to have attacked the things that Biden doesn't like anyways, and that the elites want to shut down. And then they're paying the bad guys out in Bitcoin, which again is something the elites definitely don't like, because Bitcoin isn't their money. They can't control Bitcoin. It's fully traceable and transparent, but you can't control it. So now they get to pay out these bad guys that perform these cyber hacks in Bitcoin. All the more reason to try to shut all this shit down. Folks, they're just prepping us for this. Let's go back to MK Ultra and the whole CIA media propaganda. And that these people in these media outlets either work for the media outlets and Big Pharma, or work for the media outlets and the CIA, other foreign spy agencies, or are the wife of foreign spies or CIA agents. It's a fucking small group that you and I are not in. So then, it's funny because I'm thinking about this, all this. I listened to a podcast today where they were kind of talking about a potential cyber hack. So I just kind of looked up cyber hack. And the fucking Washington Post literally put out an article today. Washington Post, obviously, super lefty, super Trump hating, super veganist, like just progressive as hell. Here's a headline for their new article today. Why one hack on one firm can shake global meat supply. Oh, there's some bad shit coming, folks. Now it's interesting because like the elites have a bit of a game to play, because you don't want society. They have to live as well, so you can't have society just fucking on fire around the globe, because that's not that. I mean, it's probably a little bit enjoyable for a little bit, but they can't control all of that. This, the way they're setting all this shit up is just incredible. The timing of it is just wonderful, because the credit markets are about to fall apart. The whole financial system is about to fall apart. And now you have the pandemic and ultrasound money, the hardest asset in human history, has been invented and has kind of reached the mainstream a little bit. Bitcoin, which can literally fuck their entire control system. And then you get into like the Ethereum and like DAOs, and you're talking about potentially ending nation states. This whole like working remotely thing, like the power structures are falling apart fast, and they need every possible fear method they can use to make you think that we need them and that they help us in any way, shape, or form. Now that they just have destroyed society to the point that they've basically made us tax slaves, where everybody's almost just barely getting by, and it's just not. Society is nice enough that like it's not on fire. But as you can see over the last few years, like it's reached the point where there's some cities on fire. Folks, the next pandemic is this cyber shit, and it kind of scares the fuck out of me. But just know it's planned. That's all I want to say. Anyways, guys, that was the important topic for today. Fucking cyber attack. Get ready for them. Oh, last one. Grab this one. Let's go back to Klaus Schwab there. Klaus Schwab, talking about the cyber attacks. Guess what they have going again? So remember Event 201? How they did Event 201 before the Plan-demic? Go over things, reassure the plan before you let it out. Yeah, guess what? The World Economic Forum, Mr. Klaus Schwab and his crew, Cyber Polygon. Digitalization is accelerating everywhere. New digital ecosystems are forming all around us, creating unnoticed linkages across services and supply chains. As the world grows more interconnected, the speed in development makes it difficult to assess the impact of change. A secure approach to digital development today will determine the shape of our future for decades to come. Having the right skills in place is key to protecting organizations from the attack now. What is Cyber Polygon? Cyber Polygon is a unique cybersecurity event that combines the world's largest technical training exercise for corporate teams and an online conference featuring senior officials from international organizations and leading corporations. The 2021 conference discusses the key risks of digitalization and the best practices for secure development of digital ecosystems. The 2021 technical exercise builds and tests the skills needed to protect our industries, centering on the targeted supply chain attack. Every year, the training brings together global businesses and government agencies to collaborate on technical exercises. The live stream draws in millions of spectators from across the globe. This year's discussions during the live stream conference will center on secure development of ecosystems, with global digitalization further accelerating and people, companies, and countries becoming even more interconnected. Security of every single element of a supply chain is key to ensuring the sustainability of the whole system. During the technical exercise, participants will hone their practical skills in mitigating a targeted supply chain attack on a corporate ecosystem in real time. The event will be held on July 9th. Folks, there's some crazy shit coming. I'm just saying. If we just look at the last situation, they said this shit was coming. It came. Guess what they're doing? They're saying this shit is coming. it's probably going to come. Now, this is where I don't know how far it goes. I can't imagine they want society, the entire society in flames. I can't see it. It would have released a deadlier fucking bug in the first place. And I think there's an interesting time frame aspect here too, where you do need to keep a slave class that continues to build up the technology. But then, once you get the technology built up for automation, then you don't need the slave class anymore. You got the fucking robots. We know that they talk about depopulation all the time, that the world is overpopulated, climate change, blah blah. I mean, I live in Canada and our fucking country's empty. Bigger than the US and only have 35 million people. A lot of livable space in Canada. And I always like to, I don't know who said it, but they talked about the numbers game. Like, the idea of, I used to think maybe we're overpopulated, but at the same time, if we can empower people and the children, we can grow these geniuses that can then come up with the solutions to problems that we may face as humanity. I'd like to think we're almost better off playing the numbers game. I mean, I'd also like to argue that this whole climate change thing is like a massive control aspect. Another invisible enemy. They get to put in a bunch of rules to control your lives. Never know the difference because it's an invisible enemy that you never, like terrorism and climate change. You know what? As a kid, I was taught there was a fucking hole in the ozone that was supposed to kill us all. I don't know what the fuck happened to that because I haven't heard anything about a hole in the ozone in probably 15 years. Al Gore said we were going to be underwater in the 80s. And science went, oh no, actually, we might go through a mini ice age. So then they went, we got to change these words. It can't be global warming. It's just got to be climate change. But then you read a few articles here and there where it's like, oh, these super volcanoes that we didn't really understand have been a lot more active under some of these oceans. And I mean, I'm no genius, but just thinking that like if these super volcanoes are more active, that they'd be heating up a little bit. And they would probably heat up the water a little bit. But the CO2 production, if you read the articles, the green canopy, it's growing. Like if you, I mean, in terms of how much is being cut down via industry and whatnot, that's what we the plants eat this shit up. They're loving it. This would be how you terraform a planet, essentially. So drives me crazy, folks. Anyways, join the Discord. Conspiracy-Realist. Let's see where we are at here. TinFoilRealist. I will make sure I put a link in the YouTube description. I will do that right now. I want you to join the Discord. I'm going to put it right in the chat. Boom. That works. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, go to my Twitter at Tinfoil News or at TinFoilRealist. I got 2 Twitter accounts on the go. I'm trying to grow my new one, which is Tinfoil News. I will be doing a travel through the Twitter timeline in a few minutes. Take a break from this stream. Start a new one. Gonna do a bit of a crypto update. Travel through the Twitter timeline, go through the news and the news I'm reading. And I hope you enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Loris, your favorite tinfoil realist, not theorist. I need friends. Join my Discord. Message me. Need like-minded friends. Ciao, ciao, folks.